Yo, what's good? It's your man 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. The Oklahoma City Thunder are a big man away from getting back in the playoffs and making some noise. You know, it's interesting that when you look at the landscape of the NBA, how things have shifted. You have Giannis Antetokounmpo winning MVP, getting an NBA championship. Nikola Jokic, 2-time MVP, probably should have been 3. Joel Embiid, NBA leading scorer, multiple seasons, MVP. I think it's safe to say that the return of the NBA big man is already here. You asked the Dallas Mavericks one of the things that they were missing, and that was a big man, an interior player who could defend the rim, rebound at a high level, take on the physicality of the other team, be a lob threat for Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, set hard picks at the top of the key that frees them, that brings a dynamic to their offense and defense that allows them to be more versatile, especially against the bigger teams of the league. You ask the Golden State Warriors if they needed a big man. You look at these different teams out here that are vying for playoff positioning, and it becomes abundantly clear you need a big man. You can't go small. Even as you saw the Golden State Warriors lose to the Los Angeles Lakers, Anthony Davis and LeBron James made them look small. And yet, when they went up against the Denver Nuggets made the Lakers look small. You need a big man to compete in the playoffs in today's NBA. And when you look at the core that the Oklahoma City Thunder have, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, LaGuin's Dort, you got Josh Giddy. You look at the talent that they have. You got Chet Holmgren making his return next season. This is a team that cannot afford to go into next season continuing to play small. Even as tall as Chet Holmgren is, he's not physically strong enough and big enough to play big, despite his length and timing and all the basketball IQ he could want. And so enter in the big man carousel that is going to be this offseason. Minnesota has to be looking at moving Karl Anthony-Towns with his soon-to-be bloated NBA contract and likely being overpaid, especially when it looks like Anthony Edwards is going to be their future. You look at DeAndre Ayton, who struggled to fit in Phoenix, whether it was due to the coaching, the organization, or just his own internal drive or lack thereof. He's likely on the move. Nikola Vucevic, for the Chicago Bulls, multiple-time All-Star, has been in the playoffs, can score on the inside and out, a high-level NBA big man. Jakob Poeltl looked revived when he was traded from the San Antonio Spurs back to the Toronto Raptors. He also looks like he could be a big-time contributor for a team on the inside. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going to have their pick. And I think it's a pick that they're going to have to really make intentionally. Now, I could also throw in there James Wiseman. I think he might stick around in Detroit a little bit longer, but with Jalen Duren also there pushing him, and Marvin Bagley and Isaiah Stewart, I think they've got so much size he becomes expendable, and the need for a big man is so high that I could see a team, especially like the Oklahoma City Thunder, offering up their draft picks, which they pretty much at this point have way too many of. They got too many young, talented guys who need minutes, who are struggling to get opportunities. And now that they see that they are a playoff-level team, and they begin to put in the right pieces to continue to progress, it's going to be even harder for certain guys to get minutes. And it's going to become more imperative that they are judicious about figuring out what young players they are going to be investing in as they continue to grow as a team. And this is why I see them going after a big man right now. Knowing that they've got the salary cap space to outbid most teams. Nikola Vucevic and Jakob Poeltl are both unrestricted free agents. You got a young guy like James Wiseman who they can afford to pay if he has a great season next year after they trade for him. Plenty of teams need draft picks. Plenty of teams are also in win now mode and don't have the time to really develop anymore. And so they don't mind picking up picks for the future or giving up a young big man like a Wiseman. And so you have to ask yourself, what is going to be the best fit for this team? You got some prime candidates that I have. One, I really like Karl Anthony-Towns for them. I like Karl Anthony-Towns because being traded to this team will signify to him you are no longer who we used to think that you were. It's not that you're not talented, you're just not the leader. You're not the guy that's going to take us there. You're talented, but you're not that dude. And I think pairing him next to somebody like Chet Holmgren will allow him to be able to maximize himself offensively while being able to be covered for defensively with guys like the Wins Dort, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, being able to defend on the perimeter. Even Josh Giddy gives great effort as well. And alongside Chet Holmgren, they're going to be able to cover for a lot of Karl Anthony-Towns inefficiencies on the defensive end, much like Minnesota was able to do a couple of seasons ago when he was still playing center before Rudy Gobert arrived. But then you also have another young, talented big man, as I mentioned a moment ago, in James Wiseman, who probably has some of the most amazing upside that we've seen from a big man coming into the NBA in a long time. His ability to defend the rim, shoot from the perimeter, extremely soft touch around the rim and from the mid-range, his ability to put the ball on the floor, to bring it up in transition, to run the court up and down. We haven't seen anything like this in such a long time. And yet he struggled to put it together. But after last season finally getting consistent minutes, you begin to see what the hype was about. And as he goes into another offseason, finally healthy in this offseason, able to work more on his game in the areas that he saw he needs to improve after finally getting playing time, he could be special for them. And they may be just young enough to be able to take a chance on him and really commit to his development with the rest of these young guys. Having dynamic playmakers and facilitators who can set him up with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddy, along with a Chet Holmgren, who can also cover for him defensively in the areas that he's still figuring out. Chet's ability to shoot from the perimeter and play off the ball also bode well for allowing James Wiseman to be an offensive focal point. James Wiseman could be a great choice. You also have Nikola Vucevic. And this is somebody that I'm really keeping an eye on because Nikola Vucevic has the ability to be that veteran rock presence, much like Jonas Valanciunas has been able to be in New Orleans, where he's a consistent guy you can go to in the post, pick and roll, knowing that he knows what to do in tight game situations against good teams, great teams. He knows how to play his part, how to play his role, play to his strengths. He knows how to play within a system. Extremely high IQ player who's also very skilled as a passer, screen setter. He's somebody you can run some offense through. He's somebody who can carry you for short stints and stretches. And when you get to the playoffs, you know you can depend upon him to do his job. Now, then you also have the hustle big man, Jakob Poeltl. Jakob Poeltl is another great option. Unrestricted, meaning that you don't have to overpay him too much, but you also know what he's going to bring. He's still entering into his prime, has a great ability to play around the rim, finishing, defending, rebounding, screen setting. He does all the little things that you want at a high level. And I suspect whoever they bring in is not just going to be able to help them get into the playoffs, but if they plan it right, is going to be able to help keep them in the playoffs. But as always, I want to know what you all think. Holler at me in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Who do you think the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to pick up this offseason to fill that gaping hole in the middle to get them into the playoffs. I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.